I would like to welcome everyone back to So-Called Experts. Thank you once again for joining me. Truly appreciate all your guys' support out there. Today I figured I'd just give a short little video on something that's been on my mind. One thing that I think we've argued about since the beginning of sports is it okay to cry in sports? Now us men, we've been taught from little kids to not cry. Take it like a man, man up. You're the man, you're not supposed to cry. But I feel that I gotta give some athletes passes when it comes to crying in sports. I mean, something off the top of my head is, if you guys remember the big story now, is Tim Tebow. Well, in college, that game he lost to Alabama, I think it was the SEC championship game, he's in the sideline and there's tons of footage of him on the sidelines crying. I can't help but say that that's okay. I mean, I think all of us as fans out there want our athletes to care as much about the game as we do. I mean, we don't want to feel like we're the only ones that care. We don't want to go home hearing about our players celebrating after the game. Like this year, Rob Gronkowski, after the Super Bowl loss, he's out partying. I think that would piss any Patriots fan off. You don't want to have your players celebrating a loss. You want them to be as miserable as we are after a loss. So when you see Tim Tebow crying, I don't hate him for that. I'm glad that he cares so much about the game. It makes me proud. If I was a Florida fan, I would love it. You have other instances occasionally that happen. For example, Michael Jordan. The year his father passed away, he went out and won the NBA title. And there's that film of him, holding the trophy, crying, dedicating it to his father. And you can't get mad at that. You know what I mean? Michael Jordan. That was a heart-wrenching moment. I think every fan was proud or was happy to see that it meant so much to him. And I think it matters how manly and how many man points you have in the bank. If you don't have enough man points in the bank, you don't have the credit to get away with crying. For example, you have this last year, Chris Bosh, after losing the NBA championship. He was crying and he was holding his face, on the floor. They show him walking back, tears, snot coming down his face. And for some reason, I couldn't help but laugh at the guy, because to me it seemed ridiculous. It seemed almost fake. So it's almost contradictory in my points that I'm saying I want them to care, but to me Chris Bosh doesn't have enough man points to get away with crying. You know what I mean? I think that plays a part. Now, that's also comparable to Adam Morrison. I don't know if any of you guys remember him. College basketball player. One of the best in the country when he was playing. Lost the Sweet 16 game. And he was all over the floor crying. People were trying to pick him up. He didn't want to get up. He couldn't stop crying. But he was a college kid. It's hard for me to get mad at a college kid for crying. But Chris Bosh, I'm sorry, bro. You don't got enough points in the bank. Now, another one that I think deserves a pass is retirement speeches. I remember the day when I knew I would never be able to play baseball again, and I only played up to high school. I remember how heartbreaking that was to me. So I can only imagine these athletes who have been playing their entire lives, turning 40 years old or 36 or somewhere in that range, usually, and now they're having to say that they're never going to play the sport that they love, that they have loved their whole lives. That to me gets a pass when you're someone like Hines Ward, who's made a career out of cracking fools, laying fools out, trucking dudes. And then you go on your Hall of Fame speech and you cry, when you're arguably, or in my opinion, the toughest receiver of all time, you get a pass. But press conferences that are a no-go, a perfect example is after a tough loss, this player came in and started crying because they were questioning his quarterback. That's not fair. That's my quarterback. If you're Terrell Owens, no pass. You should not have snot coming down your nose because they are giving Tony Romo a hard time. Man up, win the game, help your quarterback out on the field instead of crying for him. So with that said, I would like to thank all of you again for joining and watching my sports on So-Called Experts. But before I let you guys go, I gotta say, support your troops. And the one rule that just trumps and overrides everything I just said here is, you guys got to remember this. There is no crying in baseball. So enjoy the video that I'm about to post for you guys. See you guys next time. Thanks for the support.